Yep. So that was 3 episodes.
Yeah,
not bad, huh? Mm.
yeah, it was pretty good. I actually really enjoyed all 3 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a Star Wars show. Very different.
It's very different in tone, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot more drama, I
Mm,
guess.
Yeah.
yeah. And
And
I like that it was actually, it's sort of quite intriguing to see his what his history was and where he was from originally.
yeah, so we saw both a younger
Younger
Casa.
Cassian. Yeah.
A younger one.
Cassian.
Oh,
So,
That
so
that
he was
the-
originally Casa, then it's Cassian.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That must have become his name once he left.
Actually, there's a lot of characters, so very good to go through
Yeah, let's
each
go
of
through the
them.
different-
Yeah, it'd be hard to follow.
Diego Luna. So this is Cassian,
Cassian Andor.
the adult Casa.
Yeah.
He
The same.
actually he looks older in this one than he
Well, it's been a couple of years since Rock One, right?
did. True. Yeah. But I guess they can't really de-age him.
No.
So we kind of know what happens eventually to,
Well, he dies.
of course. We know that.
Yeah.
They all die.
But one of the intriguing things was like what happened to his sister, like because
Oh,
she was
yes,
left
yes.
behind, and it looks like he's been searching for her
Yeah.
for a long time now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Luton.
And then who is Stellan's character with saying here Luthen Rail. Okay.
Eric Selvig, yeah.
Yep, Eric Selvig is back
Yeah.
in a different role.
Different role. Interesting. Yeah. But it looks to me like he's part of the rebellion, the Empire, and he's
Resistance.
he's part of the resistance, and he's like trying to recruit Cassian.
Yep.
Into this resistance movement.
And there goes another Marvel Star Wars mixed character.
That's right. This young ambitious Imperial officer obsessed with Cassian. Cyril Karn. And then we got Mon Mothma. Okay. Yes.
She hasn't appeared yet.
Hasn't appeared yet.
Have you seen her? Not yet.
No,
Not yet.
Later.
Interesting.
Yeah.
She's here. Huh?
So another younger Mon
Mothma.
Mothma.
Oh, okay.
So this would be another third version of Mon Mothma, like another young version.
Because we've already seen her in
What show was she in? I'm trying to remember where I might have seen her.
what in Leia in Obi-Wan? No.
No, she was also in Rogue One.
Rogue One.
She was in,
for like a little bit.
Yeah, not a big role in there, but I think.
And as well as small role, I think in episodes 2 or 3, I forget.
Yes.
Depending on the Senate scenes.
I'm pretty sure she was one of the senators or something, or that she was at least there.
They were
council.
Yep, and there's also the older version in the later episodes as well.
Right.
So this is a new actress though.
Yeah, I mean they would have had to recast someone younger, like otherwise it doesn't make sense with the timeline. Yeah.
This is a new character, Bix, longtime ally of Andor's.
Yeah. It's like a new character.
And then Marva, Fiona Shaw.
Yeah, they kind of just like jumped right into the story. They didn't really leave much time to like try to understand the characters. They just jumped right in,
which is pretty good. Like so, it's like we get to know them through the action and the story. Forrest Whitaker, really? Not yet.
Okay,
younger Saw Gerrera.
Rogue One.
So
Saw
Yeah.
Gerrera. Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah, because Saw Gerrera appeared in Star Wars Rebels
Mm.
as well, and in Rogue One.
Yeah, and
But yeah, it's a different
Villains.
actor again.
Hmm.
It's a younger version.
Mm.
younger version. Interesting. But
But
yeah,
he was definitely pretty significant in Rogue One.
He was.
Mm.
So yeah, so far quite intriguing to see, you know, his origins.
yes.
And yeah, I don't know what sort of, I guess, what tribe or, you know, because he spoke a different language. So he would have only learned English, I guess, you know,
The Galactic Basic is what they called it.
or the Galactic
Galactic
Yeah.
Basic.
Yeah.
Mm.
once he left Plani. Hmm.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see the start of the Rebel Alliance in a way.
Hmm.
So this one would be like, I guess, in concurrent to Star Wars Rebels.
Hmm. I think
Mm.
so.
Oh, you mean in terms of when it's set, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so you'll be
Before, yeah.
Hmm.
Before Rogue One.
well, yeah, obviously before
Yeah.
Rogue One.
Would have had
But
to.
when exactly?
That's
Yeah, but I think
I
it'll
mean the
be,
flashbacks, right?
yeah.
The flashbacks.
It will
Oh, yeah.
definitely be around the same time as Star Wars Rebels, because Star Wars Rebels kind of ends at the beginning of the Star Wars Rogue One movie.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So, but interestingly, that we're getting like stories from like every part of the timeline.
Hmm.
Like Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian is set way after, and this one is set in that period just before Rogue
Yep.
One.
Hmm.
Same as Obi-Wan.
Yeah, it's the same time period that Obi-Wan sort of covered, but it's more focused obviously on these characters, on the Rebel Alliance.
So it is still possible
Yeah.
to see what we were thinking about in like casting. Would be seeing other characters like Captain Rex
Hmm.
was something that we talked about before. I guess they could just get the same actor for
Hmm.
the Mandalorian
Hmm.
or Book
Yeah.
of Boba Fett, because he plays Boba Fett.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, Tamara Morrison.
It's
He
interesting how
could
they-
play Rex if they can't get him.
yeah, just get him to play everything.
Because Rex was like a really popular character in both the Clone Wars and in Rebels. He was like a fan favorite.
Hmm.
It's interesting this point, right? The subtitles
They
had
chose
no
not to.
translations.
Yeah, before I was wondering about that when I was watching it. So,
It's deliberate. Yeah.
and then yeah, it was deliberate.
Yeah.
So we have to like guess what they're saying. But I guess the point that they're trying to make is it comes from a planet where
Kasa.
they didn't
Yeah.
know any language,
Hmm.
Mm.
or probably not one of those many languages in C3PO's database.
So no translation. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it must have been a really obscure planet with a language that could be translated.
Yeah, I mean, it was a largely abandoned planet because of that, the mining disaster that happened there.
Mm-hmm.
And when that ship crashed, you know, that it looks like that was, I don't know why that ship was heading there. That's
It crashed. That's all we know.
yeah.
What was the planet's name again? They kept taking it into episode 1, and then
Canali, I think.
Canary,
the-
Canary,
Nani?
yeah,
Nari?
Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah, that's probably it. They
Canary.
mentioned it a lot in episode 1, and then they completely didn't talk about it in episode 2 or 3.
Mm.
It's kind of interesting. It's like each episode, I guess, kind of flows on, but as well, they kind of lost some translation in between episodes.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
might not be a great thing.
Yeah, it's a
It's a bit interesting that they did that because it doesn't really flow as equally as you might think.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a good start.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good. Yeah, first 3 episodes. It's more, I think, build up at this point, and and a little bit of background history and exposition.
Yeah, well, we know where Cation Endor comes from now. His planet, his backstory, who found him back then. Yeah,
and how he came to, and it looks like the beginning of him being recruited by the Rebel Alliance. So we got that in the end when he leaves with Luthen.
it's just a very interesting take on the Star Wars universe. There's no Jedi, none of that stuff, right? It's just ordinary citizens.
It's that less
focusing
familiar
on that
sort of.
rather than the mystical aspects of the Star Wars universe.
Well, they kind of proved that it could work with the Mandalorian.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh yeah.
In fact, this is interesting. Apparently, George Lucas has always wanted to do it this way, like move away from the whole Jedi stuff and explore the everyday lives of citizens in the Star Wars galaxy. So now we're finally getting to see what he originally was planning to do.
But they also said the mask of Plo Koon in the episode as well.
Sorry, the what?
The fallen Jedi Plo Koon.
Oh, okay.
The guy who was wearing the mask.
The mask, yeah.
Apparently, the Dave Filoni's favorite Jedi.
It's the man in the mask.
Yeah, Dave Filoni's favorite Jedi that he spoofs the character in as a stunt double for Luke Skywalker. Apparently, do you know that scene where Luke Skywalker comes in at the end of season 2 of Mandalorian?
Yeah.
To protect the identity of Luke Skywalker,
they use a double.
They use a double, which was actually Plo Koon.
Oh.
Which was hilarious because it wasn't Plo Koon, it was Luke Skywalker.
Right.
But then Plo Koon died. That's far as we know. And then we see his mask in this episode, so they think that double confirms that he died.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's BBY5?
Hmm?
BBY5.
Switzerland.
BBY5.
That's the year that's talking about.
I see. So it takes place in BBY5. A point in the Star Wars timeline is significant, not only for the prequel but other events in the galaxy. So that gives us a big clue, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is but Bad Batch is 19 BPY. So it's a numbering system, is it? Star Wars Fallen Jedi is 14 BBY. Obi-Wan is 9 BBY. How do they calculate?
Oh, I see.
So BBY5 is actually before Obi-Wan then, is that right?
They're like serial numbers for the droids. So
9 BBY.
maybe that helps us to kind of track.
Essentially, BBY is before the Battle of Yavin.
Before the Battle of Yavin. So it is saying 2 BBY, it means 2 years before. And then 5 BBY means 5 years before.
Yeah.
So this is 5 years before Battle of Yavin, which is A New Hope. Oh, okay. So it's like DC, right? So 9 BBY is like 4 years before 5 BBY.
Yeah. So it's similar naming, like it's ABY and BBY after the Battle of Yavin, before the Battle of Yavin.
A bit like BCAD. Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. So Bad Batch is like 19 BBY.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan 9.
I guess that makes sense because Bad Batch happened just after.
That's quite interesting.
Just after the. Just after episode 3. Just after, like directly after.
All right.
I mean, a kind of, in a way, you can sort of tell where it is in the timeline with the droids that were around as well.
But yeah, this is the first time I've seen this like dating system used.
No, they've been using it a while.
Yeah, but I just haven't,
But
seen
it's
it
like the
before.
significance of it is sort of only kind of something that we sort of notice more, I think, now, after seeing all the additional kind of Star Wars shows.
Because the Star Wars shows we've seen so far, I don't think they've actually said anything about BBY 9. Like Obi-Wan, we didn't see BBY 9.
Because the movies certainly didn't.
I think they didn't really state it in the show, but we know in Star Wars that's how they date it.
Yeah.
And I think this is the first Star Wars show which actually did say BBY in like the
exactly.
Statements.
That's why I say I don't think I've seen it before.
That's right.
In any of the shows.
Yeah, so I think they're trying to make it more canon now. So it's like this is how we will name it in Star Wars.
Yeah, they're highlighting it more in this series than before. Because even in the movies, we don't really have that being emphasized or highlighted at all.
Yeah, because they were dating it before as ABY, BBY before. We just haven't seen it in
the show.
The shows.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. But
actually, is it only 3 episodes out? Because some places are already giving like
maybe
1 to 4.
Maybe critics have
only the media people have it.
Yeah, probably the media has seen episode 4, but we've only have 3 episodes.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like people like movie critics will always get previews and things like that before the general public.
Yeah, they get one more, huh? They get one more.
Yeah.
So it does seem like people who went to D23 had access to episodes 1 to 4.
Maybe that's how they saw all 4.
Okay, that's also possible. Those who went to D23.
Yeah, because there is a trailers which we haven't seen it, which appeared in D23.
Yeah,
we'll eventually see it.
I mean, a few of the trailers have already been released. Like
the ones that they allowed, but there are other trailers which are still kept under wraps, which were only for D23 attendees.
I mean, I guess they have to keep something special for that. They can't just put everything on there.
Yeah, they remain exclusive until like maybe about a month later.
Yeah. But how cool for those who are able to attend. If only we were able to. But we can't even see certain things like the live stream, because it was geo-blocked unless you had like a VPN.
You mean D23?
Yeah.
Yeah, or people who have been like sneaking cameras into the thing and filming.
Yeah, there have been some bootlegs though.
Like the leaks, but essentially they're not meant to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, I'm finding this to be, it's still in the same kind of tone as Rogue One, so it's kept that, I think.
Yeah, it's a bit darker.
But it
It's
has
definitely darker. Yeah.
Yeah, it has a bit more of that darkness. But then I guess that's hinted at by Andor himself in Rogue One. That there were things, about his past, that
Yep. And I guess they kind of introduced this dark side in Rogue One as well at the beginning.
yeah.
I guess that's
Because
the reason
at,
why
at the
people
beginning
like
of
it.
Rogue One, he practically killed someone.
Mm.
It's like, okay.
And you can tell that it probably wasn't his first time. And so now like what happened, to him in the beginning. This is probably the first time he's killed people, and it was those two guards.
Yeah, because he's a warrior. He's like a fighter.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that's and then of course he's become a fugitive since then.
Yep. Yeah, same tone. I mean,
Mhm.
Rogue One has been, widely regarded as one of the very best. So just because it's so different, and this one seems to be continuing along the same kind of tone.
Mm.
And yeah, it is definitely a different in tone than say Obi-Wan.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even have any recognizable Star Wars themes that I could pick up.
Just less of the
the Imperial March or nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't need those.
They don't need
No,
those.
you don't even see stormtroopers here. You're seeing a different guard.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't feel like Star Wars, which I think is actually a good thing. Because it doesn't always need to have that fan service element.
Yeah, it's good to see what was happening on the other planets and what sort of patrols were there that were like that there are different arms of the Imperial.
Yeah, it's like being on the fringes,
like who were being sent to those outer rim areas. Because it wasn't stormtroopers, there were clearly other Imperial guards that were being sent there. And
now what that means for us is that there's actually not any Easter eggs to go
not
through.
too many, no. Yeah.
Well, I do prefer story over Easter eggs.
Yeah, you want something kind of more engaging rather than just sort of linking everything to Jedis or something. Like it's interesting to see all these other characters that other people.
Yeah, this one is very Easter egg averse. And this is what I'm saying. The showrunner doesn't want to depend on fan service, right?
Yeah.
So Tony Gilroy, by the way, is the guy, the Bourne, Jason Bourne.
Oh, okay.
So I don't, maybe there's a bit of that vibe in this, like like him on the run.
In the sense of being like a Jason Bourne, being a kind of thing. Yeah.
A bit of that feel, little bit.
Of that feel. But I kind of like seeing all the other I guess characters of Star Wars that's not as prominent as like the main, like the Skywalker family sort of thing, like outside of that.
And more Star Wars shows will be coming.
So we'll get to see, because it's a whole universe, and there are a lot of other characters in there, so it's good to see that they get to have their own sort of backstories more filled out. And so
they actually did get the Plo Koon mask in the movie. in the show.
Mm.
Hidden Jedi reference.
Mm.
Interesting.
Mm.
All right.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
So,
Bill, are you there still? Have you fallen?
he's on mute though. And James is on mute.
Probably asleep, both of them.
I don't know why they didn't mute themselves.
I see.
Yeah. But
That's-
yeah, I'm finding it pretty intriguing. Like, and usually the end of the episode, it's like you wanna play the next one. I think this is the kind of series where if they dropped all the episodes at the same time, people would just binge watch and just do a marathon and watch them all.
Yeah, and then you don't get the chance of actually talking through or like speculating,
Yeah.
pretty much.
which is kind of the fun thing about like
Yeah.
weekly releases.
Mm.
Mm,
It's more
that's
fun
true.
this way. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
And a chance of actually like
Speculating.
talking about it.
Which is part of the fun of it. And, yeah.
Overall,
Overall, are we getting to scores? Yeah.
yeah, let's get to our scores.
Okay.
So maybe Jeff.
I'll give it 7.5, maybe. Yeah.
For all the episodes.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I guess we should just do 1, 2, 3
Hmm.
as a
I'll
whole.
give it-
Do you want to do an average score of the 3 episodes, or still individual scores for each episodes?
Whatever way you want.
I like the average. I like that's a good idea. Actually. Average, yeah. Since we're watching it 2 or 3 together. I mean, you could break it down if you want.
Mm.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like it's a kind of a newish story.
Mm.
While still part of Star Wars. So it's been, yeah. Yeah, just a little bit different, as you guys pointed out.
Mm.
See what it turns out to be. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say episode 1. I think probably 7.5 for the pilot, the first episode.
Okay.
I'd say the same for the second episode, but I think the third episode I like the most, so I would give that one an 8 because to me it was I think the most interesting and kind of action-packed of the 3. And
Exactly.
yeah, and it really I like this whole setup of him finally meeting someone from the Rebel Alliance and getting to and it seems to me like it's almost like that guy wasn't really there for the box. He what he wanted was Cassian. Like he wanted Cassian. He didn't want the box. He was there for him. It was him he wanted to take back with him, really. Like he was telling him to forget all about this box, even though he obviously was willing to pay a lot of money for it. But he found that having someone who could be a real asset to the Rebel Alliance is the more valuable thing. So to me that was interesting.
All right. I think I'll just give it an overall score. So I think I'll give it like an 8. Yeah. I mean I like it a lot. Just cause it's different. And I think it's quite brave to not rely on fan service. I mean, it proves that Star Wars can work really well even without all the fan service.
You can create compelling stories.
Yeah, because I remember when we were watching Obi-Wan, one of the criticisms I had was, just feels so familiar. And this one is actually not familiar, which is what trying to be different.
Well, the thing with Obi-Wan, it was familiar because it reflected episodes 1 through to 6.
Yeah, exactly. So, but this one, obviously is just focusing on ordinary citizens living their lives, I guess. No Jedi.
No Imperial King,
Yeah, not even any Imperial stuff,
Empire,
right?
none of the Empire stuff. Yeah.
Not quite. No.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that corporation does work for the Empire, but it's more like they're outsourced. You know what I mean?
Well, it does seem like they are Imperial, but they were also like really bad at their job.
Yeah.
Because that guy who tried to run off and crashed his own
ship, that was hilarious.
Really?
That he crashed his own the ship, you know, like.
Oh, he crashed it, yeah.
And then because of that crash, they thought they were being flanked. It's like, what?
Yeah.
These guys are like really hopeless.
Yeah. I mean, I think they really underestimated. Like they brought like what, 12 people, you know?
Yeah, for like 2 armed people.
2 armed people. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So and also
and they failed. They failed badly.
Oh.
Because they didn't really understand that terrain, and what the people were like there.
Yeah, I think I also like the whole, maybe a bit of a Jason Bourne vibe, a thriller vibe. You know, like he's on the run.
I would say it has that action kind of.
It has the action, but
especially the third episode definitely has a bit of. I mean, Jason Bourne vibe in the sense that, you know, he's always on the run, and people keep having to chase him, and so I think, you know, that's the reason why they chose Tony Gilroy to do it.
Yeah,
because he's got that background.
Oh, Tony Gilroy. Oh.
Yeah, which is the guy who did the original Jason Bourne.
But he was on the run in a different way, not this way.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, right? The whole vibe of it, like, even though the context is not exactly the same.
Well, I guess in a way they are on the run, so it's more than just one.
Yeah,
Jason Bourne was on his own.
Well, you could say it's Cassian on the run, but now it's him and Luton.
Yeah.
They'll always think of him as Selvig.
Yeah.
Selvig.
Yeah. So yeah, very, very interesting to see what's happening. And we sort of had that link. I mean, what one of the officers was saying was that that there's, you know, unrest and that there's fomenting. So they already get the sense that there's people resisting the Empire, building some kind of alliance against the Empire, like that he already suspects that that's happening just from the hostility of people against the Imperial Guards. And you can sort of see as well, like even in Obi-Wan, that, you know, like what Cassian was saying, you could just walk in there because no one would think, you know, that that you would infiltrate, you know, the Imperial Guard. And that was the case with one of the characters, remember, that was helping Obi-Wan, where she was basically disguised as an officer. And she was working for the Rebel Alliance the whole time. But she had an actual job, you know, with the Empire. She was a legitimate officer.
The Empire.
Yeah. So that's true. Yeah, you can get a job with the Empire, but be totally working for the Rebel Alliance.
Oh, yes. I see what you mean.
So it's interesting to see that as well. That parallel there with Obi-Wan and
yeah, so 8 for me. So
wow.
Jono.
I thought it was done quite well. Like the filming techniques were more unique in a sort of Star Wars film.
That's right. Yeah.
Like these filming techniques aren't really new, but it's actually quite new to Star Wars. I'd say. But I tend to like it. Like how they did it with the no subtitles, I thought was like a good idea.
Yeah.
But then again, something similar was done in Planet of the Apes, where they used the hand movements, but they actually did have subtitles on that one. If you remember Planet of the Apes, that series. But yeah, I think they did better, so you could actually tell by their emotions how they're feeling, or you could actually guess what they're thinking. So you could kind of speculate or wonder what they're thinking or saying. And most people, I think, would be correct.
Yeah.
Because it could mean anything. Because of the actions.
Yeah, just the body language.
So that I thought was smart filmmaking. And we get a bit of everything as well. Episode 3, we get a bit of action in the end. Episode 1 and 2, we got a bit of story of Canary.
Yeah. So we have a background of what his people were like. And
yeah, so they kind of introduced like a new planet and a new people who did not know the galactic basic. And that's where Cassian was from. Overall, I think so far I'd give this episodes 1, 2, 3 an average of maybe 7.
7, okay. Actually, it's pretty high 9, but this is based on 1 to 4. So
okay, we haven't seen 4, so maybe that's part of the average. I don't know.
But it says corporate thriller undertones, right? That's the Jason Bourne vibe there.
I guess
compelling performances, considered filmmaking, which Jonah said. But it has so far the highest ever Star Wars Rotten Tomatoes score since The Mandalorian. 91%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is good considering it hasn't been like review bombed.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm glad that at least this hasn't been review bombed, so we know like what the real score is. It's more accurate, I think. Yeah. That looks like a realistic score.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people love Rogue One, so so I think it sort of had positive vibes,
Yeah, but it does seem like there have been a lot of shows recently who have been like doing things to prevent the review bombing.
Okay. Yeah.
So they have like reviews from before. So they had the Rotten Tomato score from viewers of D23, I think they were saying. It's same as how Amazon delayed the Rings of Power to combat the fake review bombing.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to take steps against the review bombing and how it happens. Because with the review bombing, it's usually review bomb before the actual show comes out.
That's right.
So I think the steps are kind of working. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So let's see how long this lasts.
Yeah.
Well, it did stop She-Hulk from being review bombed though.
All
right. I think we're done. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed this. And we'll see what happens next. Episode 4.
Next week. And She-Hulk tomorrow.
Well, assuming you guys get back in time.
Yeah. But yeah, I just what I like as well is that the way each episode builds up, it sort of leaves you with almost like a cliffhanger at the end of each episode. So it has more of a suspense thriller vibe.
That's what it's supposed to do.
That's a little bit
make you binge watch.
To Obi-Wan. Because Obi-Wan wasn't really a thriller. Like you couldn't consider that a thriller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is really has more of that vibe. So I think if you like that sort of stuff, like The Fugitive, Hunt for Red October, Clear and Present Danger. That's sort of I'm thinking of a lot of Harrison Ford movies, I think. Interestingly, but I and Jason Bourne series, I really like that. It's a different approach to Star Wars.
Yes,
but it's enjoyable. I think it's definitely working for Andor.
Mhm.